Okay, voice comms appear to be fixed, at least for me.
Nice. Welcome back,
okay,
bro.
I just got a load of messages saying that Discord's apparently
it
panicking.
almost looks like your internet is trying to troll you whenever you're trying to say something really cool. That wasn't even me this time.
Cool. This was our voice comms.
Oh, okay. But it seems like, you know, Fate doesn't want you to tell cool stories today. Like, first of all...
I did the entire Naxxramas, I did the entire Kel'Thuzad thing from memory. How dare they?
Okay.
Also, this is brave.
This is very brave. This is very brave. Brex's hold it, ladies and gentlemen. We have to tell you the background story about this. So, as you can see, CE's record here is still unbroken. They normally tend to go for this battleground when they feel pushed with their backs against the wall. Like, this is their comfort pick. They're the only team in China. Excuse me?
Or they want a really quick win.
Oh, they want a really quick win. But against SPT, good luck.
Yeah.
But
and this is an SPT map choice. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's SPT's map choice. So they want to make a statement here. They want to make a statement and be like, you know what? We're going to take the fight to your home turf. We're going to invade your house. And we're going to demolish it and claim it for ourselves. All your base are belong to us.
Okay, so the correct move here for SPT would probably be to ban or pick Sylvanas. Because CE have a comp that almost always wins. Hence why they have a 4-0 match rate, and also one with the comp at the Eastern Clash.
Keep talking, by the way. I'm gonna go on a quick bio break here.
That's fine. Very popular hit. This comp does involve Ariel for starters, and it does involve Sylvanas for seconds. So it's the question of whether they're going to let it happen. Morales coming in for SPT, though. They want to win that solo lane. Teams have tried this before against CE, but it hasn't worked too spectacularly in the past. It did not go according to plan as much as I'm sure they would like. But it's an interesting one, whether SPT are going to allow CE this full composition. For now, it's going to be Valor being picked up by SPT. They're just going for a more standard style. They just want to massively win one of those lanes with the Morales Valor here. With Ariel already taken away, they can't afford to give Valor over to CE, so they're very happy to take it. And Morales, they seem to be okay with it in this particular combo. So, who are we going to see? Is the Sylvanas going to be picked up now, or will it be left for a potential ban opportunity? Or has their recent defeat with the Sylvanas earlier in the phase maybe dissuaded Zuyu from attempting this again, despite its success in the past? We will have to see. As we await for them to find out.
What do my eyes deliver
Your
here?
eyes see a Morales. That's a Zagara, so maybe the Sylvanas won't be coming here.
So, Morales' first pick, despite the fact that she did receive a rework, I mean, the core mechanics of Morales didn't really change, right?
Yeah.
So, she's still a formidable bottom lane sustained healer. Probably one of the few, if not the only one, who can sort of challenge the Oriel, because now Morales isn't even dependent on mana anymore.
Yes, CE have completely abandoned their usual strategy for this map.
Yeah.
Their usual strategy for this map usually involves 3 heroes and then a little rotation. That's Sylvanas for the push potential, Dahaka for the solo top lane potential, and then Brightwing to rotate between the two. That's usually how they win, and then it's just a couple heroes to synergize to help Sylvanas in the bot lane, like Tyrael Li Ming or Greymane, something like that. That's usually what they've gone for, but this is... just abandoned that altogether. They're bringing out the Zagara, which they have done before. Zagara and Sonya was a dual lane that SPT ran during the first phase, so potentially a return to that, or just Zagara on her own anyway.
The cool thing about Zagara, I'm not sure if you talked about it yet, but what Zagara brings to the table here in Brex's Hole in particular is that constant harass, that constant pressure on those buildings, being able to basically hop from lane to lane via Nidus network, if of course 2 tunnels have been established. And that is something we could see last weekend, once again in the series between Team Liquid and the Playing Ducks, where Hasuups on the Zagara just single-handedly tore the formation of the Playing Ducks apart, always popping up where the enemy team wasn't, getting so much structural damage done, and it is also, like, even if you say, okay, we're going to deal with that Zagara, so how do you do that? A, you clear the creep trimmers, and B, you destroy the Nidus worms. But even that takes away time for the enemy team to basically pop up elsewhere. And it's just really, really hard on a map like Brax's Hole to keep her in check, right?
It is indeed. And interesting point that is, I think, is definitely worth making here. This is the first time that they have picked a Zagara, CE at least, with this roster, due to the fact that their previous Zagara player was Sanjin, who played it 13 times with the team. This is their first time picking it up with their new with KTY on their side.
And I was going to say, how do you deal with that Zagara very efficiently? There's only one answer. It's global mobility. And that is provided by the Dahaka here. So it's basically a Zerg versus Zerg battle. Normally in a straight-up lane matchup, I think Zagara can maintain the upper hand if she doesn't get ganked.
Poke should be okay.
Yeah.
A little bit of Hydra poke.
So now for SPT, it's all about drafting a strong foreman. The same basically for CE, right? Unless they go for some sort of 3-2 split, which we have seen in China a lot. Good heroes in order to establish a solid four-man lane for the Oriel. Could be a Lunara, could be a Gul'dan. I would love to see one of the two.
I mean, the Sylvanas could come in still. It's still with the Shadow Dagger, but they already have Zagara. I would throw lots of the stuff from my desk off my desk if they were to go with the Sylvanas as well. Garrosh and Alarak. This is fun. That is a deadly solo lane here. If anyone from SPT just comes close, they are just at risk.
Exactly. Like you can't even let your guard down for a millisecond because Garrosh and Alric are gonna ruin your day if you do. Combine that with straight up burst damage from the Greymane, excuse me, and they're gonna ruin your day. Especially with Morales kind of being, you know, low on the burst healing. She's more of a single target sustained healer. I mean, sure, she has a safeguard, that is nice, but they're going to need the grenade as well in order to disrupt the follow-up, I feel. So there's going to be a lot of weight, a lot of responsibility on ZZA's shoulder here on the Morales, I feel.
Quite possibly. And as a heads up here, this is only the second time that CE have picked Garrosh as well. They have a 100% win rate on the hero, but they do not want to break it. It's going to be Karazim, double support to try and hold this together, give that Morales a little bit more freedom as well. But another melee, putting themselves in potentially even more danger, but a melee with the potential to take percentage damage, which is huge against Garrosh.
Very true. Very true. The more raw percentage damage you have against the Garrosh, the more quickly you can kill him, because the tricky part about Garrosh oftentimes is that compared to other warriors, like let's say an Arthas or a Muradin or a Stitches, his health pool is fairly low. But he makes up for that by having a lot of armor. But if you have heroes like Karazim, like Leoric, like Malthael, you can actually get rid of a Garrosh very, very easily. And oftentimes Garrosh players, they will not realize in time, oh snap, I'm actually taking more damage than I should. I must not go in, but I'm already so deep in, so I'm probably gonna die. Bye-bye.
I love that that was just the perfect line of logic of, maybe I should go in. Where I already am. Just too late. Far too late to escape. Just, I done goofed the story.
Exactly. So, I mean, SPT on the other hand, they are well prepared now. They know what's gonna come. Like, CE did not pick a team comp that's gonna surprise a lot of people anymore, right? They know exactly what they're gonna try to do. Split pushing with Zagara, tossing people over with the Garrosh, and judging from the looks of it, SPT is looking quite comfortable. They're not like, you know, super focused or super serious. I think they know how to play this.
They potentially do. Like, this is CE's home ground. We already know this. Is this new comp of theirs going to be enough to take victory? We will find out, ladies and gentlemen, as we head into game number 2 between SPT and CE. And ladies and gentlemen, spawning on the left-hand side of the Braxis holdout, it's SPT with Genjao on Valor, Melody C on Karazim, Misaka on Anubrak, Soap on Dahaka, and ZZH on Lieutenant Morales.
And CE, who are currently down 0-1, they're going to have to hold with a Luful on that Ariel, Wind on Garrosh, KTY on the Greymane, Alrex being played by Paradise, and Zuyu goes for the Zerg Queen, the Brute Queen. It is the Zagara. Now, I'm interested in seeing what Zuyu is able to pull off. As Tetris said, when they last played the Zagara in Phase 1, it was Sanjin, who's no longer part of the team, who normally brought her to the battlefield. Now, Zuyu, we know him. He's basically a living legend in HGC China. If there's one player I would trust to pull it off, it would be him.
I would agree. That seems like it would be a very suitable player to do it. It is going to be Zagara, of course, in that solo lane. As such, starting very slow back. And look at where she's placed her creep. She doesn't want to be wrapped around from behind. I like it.
Tetra, look at the lane setup, too. Look how they're playing it. SPT is like, nah, we're not going to send 3 or 4 people against Garrosh because the likelihood of one getting tossed eventually is going to rise. They completely caught CE off guard with this triple gank in the top lane against Zagara, and Zuyu's going to have to try again. Now they just must make sure that Sun Zhao is not going to die. Okay, good.
They were thinking about the flip, decided against it. Speaking of the flip, unrivaled strength coming in from Garrosh, and that is rare because it's almost always Warbreaker.
Yeah, there we go. Couldn't agree more. But once again, it's so cool. It's almost like playing against the Kel'Thuzad these days, right? So when you play against Kel'Thuzad, you don't want to clump up. You don't want to give him the chance to stack up very nicely by presenting so many potential targets to it. Paradise gets knocked back by the grenade and walks even further inside. Oh my goodness, he's so low!
Uh-oh, Paradise, he's fleeing. He's fine. Here comes Greymane again, coming back in for the save. No flip this time.
Melody C, full swag points here for the double dash to safety. Beautifully done against the Garrosh. That is certainly a thought process behind the Karzim as well. Like, if a Karzim goes in too deep, he gets flipped and tossed. Well, as long as an ally target is nearby, or maybe even an enemy target behind Garrosh, he's going to dash out to safety.
And we're seeing the aggression coming in. We see the 2-man rotation of Anubarak and Karazim being done by SPT. They come in again for their second attempt at a kill. Dahaka's even joining the fight here.
Wow.
They are able to pick up a Lufel very nicely. Wind gets dragged. And this is just a destructive rotation coming in for SPT. Absolutely punishing C in this early game.
I mean, they had to give up top in the meantime, right? So Zagara gets a little bit of value there. They probably missed 1 or maybe 2 minion waves in the result. So it's not like it's a terrible disaster for ZE, unless, of course, SPT manages to channel the beacons all the way through. But so far, I think CE is still okay, in an okay shape. However, that steal in the mercenary camp here is quite the announcement here. Silence on Melody C. Is he going to live? Yes, he is.
If they'd got the kill, that would have been real.
Yep.
Oh my god, please. But if they'd got the kill, that would have been very nice to see. Would have been put themselves a little bit more of a comfortable position. But no, don't even get the kill. They lose the camp and get nothing. As they attempt to move in again, KTY putting some pressure onto Misaka here, as they've just done pretty much a full lane rotation. It's currently Garrosh solo down bot lane. He took Indomitable, by the way. His 1.5 second self-unstoppable. It's not a cleanse, it is a pre-cleanse, really, if you want to use it efficiently. Zagara going for the cleaving attacks, which I can't remember what they're called, actually.
The Medusa Blades?
That's the one. Bit of a silence onto Dahaka. So yes, lots of AoE wave clear. The lane setup is just completely changed, but now we're seeing everyone is up here, full 5-man, attempting to take out Zuyu. Heal is dropped, grenade to safety, anti-synergy, and Garrosh is able to claim bot. Couple points on the board here for CE.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that CE has stabilized despite taking a couple of casualties and losses early on. Very important not to let your guard down and maintain your focus, and huge damage coming in from Alrek and Paradise.
Zuyu has so little health, he's just trying to do damage from the back. Paradise gets killed off by the multi-shot. Nicely done there by Zhen Zhao.
Zhen Zhao is an absolute beast here. Beautifully done now. Lufel, the next target.
Lufel,
oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Another kill! Zhen Zhao is shredding everyone here.
You gotta be absolutely kidding me. Like, the level 4 multi-shot talent getting so much value in such quick succession. It is amazing to see how Zhen Zhao is basically unrivaled. He does not get pressured at all. All the focus was utilized or basically sent towards other targets like Karazim. Even like Dahaka was brought low at some point. But the Vala is just completely left out. And the protection coming in from Vala at the same time. He's gonna get another kill?
No! Paradise lives so barely! Any shot, anything will kill him. He finally is healed up a bit. He's a bit safer now as the Zerg comes in. It's going to be a full 5-man defense for CE here, as that's a big Zerg wave this early in the game. They do not want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Even the Zagara AoE They do not want to risk losing members here. Unfortunately, that means Dahaka has already defeated the CE Zerg wave.
The bad thing... Oh, never mind. Here comes the toss against Nubereg. Not the right target you want to go for, in my opinion.
Luful, focus down. No healing this time. Wasn't ready. They only have one healer. And that is another kill. They do get the counter kill to Karazim, though. So much damage. Winds down. KTY trying to finish off the Anub, who was once again kicked over to the other side. The Force still alive, but is about to drop to the Guardians.
They need to get rid of the last remaining Zerg. Actually, if CE holds this...
Kill the Guardians. Nice.
Yeah. It's nice for the fact that they hold it, but look at that bottom. I was going to say, that was a 4 versus 5 for the most part, Tetcher. And SPT, they were glad to sacrifice one hero, because guess what? Soap on the Dahaka in the bottom lane got so much counter value, but it looks like also that bottom fort is going to live. But let's face it, either of those forts is going to fall just with a tiny little bit of a blow here from either of the heroes.
Okay, Kendrick, I'm going to need your help here. Level 7 talent for Garrosh, could it be Into the Fray? Could it be Oppressor? It's not Brute Force, because he doesn't have Body Check. I doubt it's Intimidation.
I think it's Into the Fray. It just has a different color scheme behind it.
Why?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, it looks the same, just the guy's flying the other way, which I guess makes sense. Did they just change the icon? I just don't know.
Maybe they didn't change
it,
but
makes more sense.
Like, I just checked my phone app as well, and it shows the other talent icon still, so I guess it's Into the Fray.
Yeah. Oh, a Luful! There's a Cocoon, a Luful's dead, Zuyu's probably dead. This is good. Get in there, Wind! Into the fray! Get him out of there! Save him!
Oh, no.
Down goes Zuyu. Might not be into the fray. Wind dropped, frozen. ZZH trying to get over the wall. It was just out of range. Medivac was there, even so ZZH would have got out. This is going terribly, quite frankly.
So here's the thing, Tetcher. CE picked a team composition that it was solely dependent on momentum. They wanted to use the Garage to really toss people into the backline, killing them over and over again, snowballing from XP there. They wanted to utilize Sagara, pushing like a crazy madwoman, and just get all the value from there. Nothing happened. Neither the Garrosh nor the Sagara were able to truly unfold their full potential, and as such, they're now behind 2 levels. Almost 3 levels. And the fact that SPT just avoided the Garrosh, the fact that they ganked like absolute masterminds, really set course for them to dominate this game. And guess what? The Medivac is going to make things even worse for them, because now they have absolutely dominating mobility.
Yes, they do. And it's unlikely the Medivac will be used for mobility. It is more of an escape tool, really. But could be used. We will have to keep an eye on it, and of course, there is always the potential for taking the upgraded.
We're not going to get to level 20
Medivac that still reduces the cooldown. Yeah, at this point, it's looking rough. But for now, CE have found a target who shall live. Yeah. Nice.
It shall live indeed, but KTY, it looks like KTY.
Nice disengage, but that puts Garrosh in danger. The armor keeping him alive for the moment. Where's the throw? Everyone got out. Wow, they all lived.
That's good. That's huge, because they need to survive. If anyone had fallen here, but look at that. Medivac is being deployed, and it's flying all the way to the bottom lane to reinforce the Zerg wave. Beautiful display. And the cool thing about ZZH here in the new Morales, as long as he keeps healing even a full HP target, the trait is going to heal Morales back up as well. So keep him. Oh my goodness, that Grenade of Doom.
Goodbye, Paradise. Beautiful play. Another kill coming in. Full Zerg wave. Well, it used to be full. It's now about half. As we see some engagement on Zuyu into the fray. What a save there. As Lurley C able to back up. But this is going to be the first keep of the game going down. C should be able to prevent the core going down here. But this is very much a situation of how long can CE keep up the attrition for? How long can CE not die?
Exactly.
They've gone for Nidus. They've gone for Devouring Maw. They're very much all in on this one good team fight to get ourselves back in the game strategy.
And I fully agree with this choice too. Like, as I said earlier, they were so momentum dependent. Like, if the game had gone in their favor, if they were the ones who were establishing like a 2 or 3 level lead, sure, Nidus Worms are just such a menace for the enemy team to deal with, especially when they're behind. But here, I totally agree with what Tetris said. They need to make a miracle comeback happen with a mod. That's a good one.
That was a good more. They've got everyone out. One chance. The stun. The rain of vengeance prevented any follow-up. Zuyu is Aegis, but where's he gonna go? Sorry, that's Wind. Wind is actually, he actually is living. KTY is going down. Wind's on the run. Alufal gets dragged in. Zuyu shall flee behind the gate and survive. Can Wind delay the death of his team by not dying and preventing a Nubarak? Needs to dodge the die. Needs to dodge the burrow. Or do that. That's fine. What are you going to do? 1v1.
Victory or death for
Towers.
Garrosh. Unfortunately, it was the latter this time around. He ends up falling. I think at this point, he didn't even want to buy time anymore because he realized, uh-oh, the remaining forces of SPT are going for the boss, and I need to get the hell out of there so I can respawn and help my team defend.
This is not going well for CE. They're going to have everyone alive. Garrosh will be back in time to defend. And luckily, there is no Zerg wave happening right now. It's just boss. So they are in a good position to at least stay in the game here.
However, I think SPT needs to basically, you know, roll with the momentum here. 13 is still a long way off here for CE, so they can utilize this Archangel Guardian boss and just push for the last remaining keep. Dehaka could always appear, of course. Oh!
Whoa! That's what they needed this entire game. Valor taken down. Is it too late, though, Kendrick? Picking off Valor like this, just in time for the Zerg to spawn. They're clearing the camps. Their keep will survive. All they have to do is to just keep doing that and to keep bot cleared, which right now is looking difficult because there's a lot in it.
So actually, that was the first time the combo they had designed this draft around came into full fruition here, and they just blew off Vala. I think it might be too late though, Tetcher. They still don't have 13. Vala is already going to be back here in a bit. They still have the Medivac, so they can, look what Morales did. She teleported back to base, pulled off the trigger on the Medivac so Vala could join the fray even more quickly. And they don't even need it, the Vala. They don't even need it, the Morales.
Oh my god. Early C nearly killing Zuru, but now he's just stuck in the base. The rest of his team is on the way. All he has to do is survive until the cavalry arrives. We're seeing Wind just disengaging the rest of them so that he can stay alive here. So now it's just going to be a 5v5 fight while the Zerg points, or just a 5v5 posturing, while the Zerg slowly ticks up. And here's another 100-0 Zerg wave for SPT into the top lane. There's still a keep here. They're still not technically dead.
Okay, Tetcher, there's two ways of playing this. You set up a trap like Wind is trying to do, and you try to beat those guys before the Zergs arrive, or you're going for an all-in defend at the core.
Where's the... has Wind even used this taunt yet? He gets taken out. Alufal gets cocooned. There's the Maw, but what's the damage follow-up here? Cocoon is popped. Seven-sided. All the damage onto Alufal, who Aegises himself, but goes down. Nice. Nice counter-strike, actually. That's a lot of damage, but Anub is all in on this. The silence is good, but they're so outnumbered here. There's nothing they can do. That is going to be GG. And we will see SPT moving in a 5 versus 1. About to be 2, but it doesn't matter.
No.
And they will kill off the core here and take the series in a 2-0.
They take the series very convincingly. Game 1 was an absolute back-and-forth masterpiece, whereas Game 2 was basically a little bit of a gong show here, with CE trying to go for a strategy that unfortunately they couldn't execute well enough to really threaten SPT, who wants to claim, underline, and cement their claim as the strongest team in the region, Tetcher.
Indeed, they do. Very well played by SPT. CE in Game 1. They were so close. So close. And it was a decent idea in Game 2, but RIP. They didn't have a hope. As we do see SPT taking the 2-0. As such, SPT will move back into first place at the top of the table with a solid 15 points. Challenge, they will stay in now a tied second place with Beyond the Game.
Very well deserved. I mean, I had my doubts, right? I was giving CE actually the favor when we did our predictions. I was like, yep, they can finally do it. They finally have gathered enough momentum to really beat their kryptonite, but it was not meant to be. At least not today. They look good in Game 1, but it looks like after this shattering defeat on Dragonshire, they just crumbled. They They tried to go for a cheeky, cheesy strategy with the Garrosh and the Zagara. It looked good on paper, don't get me wrong, and I think if they had played it more cleanly, and if they were the ones picking up momentum, they could have totally snowballed out of control on that map. But it was just SPT analyzing the opponents too well, going for a super solid draft. And you know what, Tetcher? I'm really happy to see that the new Morales still has what it takes.
Yeah, that was definitely, once again, one of the best Morales plays I've seen. Rotating down to the bot, like not saving the medevac for escapes most of the time, but when it can get you a clear advantage, using it. Used it to get to the bot lane to push in the bot keep, which got them that bot keep. Vala's not here and the objective's about to spawn. I'll just be back and pick her up. Pick you up outside your house at 2. Cool, see you then. And just was able to do that. They played that really well. ZZH, nice.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you, Tetcher. I basically learned something new today. I played a lot of Morales in the past, trust me, like I'm a support main by a trade, but I've never seen the medevac to be used like that. Like I never had the thought process of being like, okay, one team member died, my medevac is ready, so why would I just waste not using it rather than teleporting back when the cooldown or the death timer on my ally is ready and just flies both back in. That is so cool, and I'm gonna definitely translate that into my own game.
I love it, and I do it a lot. The problem is, for doing that in Hero League, a lot of people in Hero League don't pay attention. You know the thing of, click on the portal! Now think, click on the medevac, please! Oh my god!
And your Hero League Vala just walks out of the altar, the Hall of the Storms, and you're like, ah, what the hell? Okay, yeah.
Yes, exactly. That can happen.
That could happen.
Just prepare yourself for that, because that will happen at least once.
Well, I can do it or die trying. So, there we go. But it's just cool to bring these tiny little details up, right, to the audience and the viewers out there as well, because it's so cool to see these pro players really getting maximum value out of their heroes and abilities. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to wait until the Chinese jury has, you know, made their call. And who is your MVP? Because I think for SPT, it's really hard to say. On the one hand, we have ZZH turning up big time, and then we have Quan Zhao on that Vala just shredding people. Holy.
Yeah, it's got to be Vala. Even though a noob just got some really solid engages, really good cocoons, just for the early game, just absolute destruction, punishing positions, perfect focus fire. Absolutely, Vala deserves that. Xin Zhao should have it.
Yeah, I agree. But already, headphone users, beware, because Xin Zhao can get very loud and vocal in that MVP screen. We all remember that.
We're getting, I'm nervous now. Let's see if we can find out who it is eventually.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what we're waiting for here. Maybe the graphics aren't ready.
Yeah, just finishing their thoughts.
So,
don't know.
Tetcher, I want to say this. Seeing this best of 2, is there any team in the league right now that can truly best SPT, or are they just in their own league respectively at the very top?
Well, we already know that RPG are kind of like their pseudo-kryptonite. For some reason, their matchups work differently. 20-2, good lord. Honestly, I think that if they keep improving and they keep playing well, I think BTG could do it.
Yeah, I agree. I think they are the RPG of last season. The only team that can sort of challenge CE and SPT, and BTG being a totally newcomer in the league makes it very impressive to basically get that title now that Eastar unfortunately is no longer around. Now we're gonna wait for the MVP. Headphones users beware.
Hey, 伙计，中国风暴需要新的力量，我们一直在努力，请你们认真一点。
I like the volume.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was not the one who did this. Like this volume was done by the Chinese production because I think they realized that Quan Zhao is way too loud, bro. So
just blew out the production in.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh dear. Like